Hey, welcome everybody to today's Top Producer interview session. I am Paul Baxter, and I am here to help you grow. Guys, what we're going to be doing today is talking about video basics. We've discussed lots of different things over the last few weeks, talking specifically about our follow-up formulas, ways that we're going to stay in touch with our prospects, and the benefit of any marketing that you're doing is giving you that excuse to follow up. And without that proper follow-up formula, you really are just kind of wasting your time. And I mentioned several times that one of the big aspects of having a good quality follow-up formula is video marketing. And I noticed that on that call there was only, golly, I want to say about 2 or 3 people on the call that were doing video of any sort, much less any kind of consistent with video. And so I thought it was important that we kind of go back and revisit our video basics, our getting started with video marketing and the basics of it, and why it really shouldn't be something to fear. It's something to embrace, because the branding opportunities that you get by doing just short little videos is tremendous, and I'll explain why that is as we go through this. First thing we want to talk about is why video. Well, again, it brands you as somebody different. You know, we talk about a lot of the marketing things that we do to differentiate ourselves from the crowd, to stand out. Video is that thing that gives you that instant brand of standing out right away, and that's what, you know, really any branding that you do is meant to do, is differentiate you from the crowd. All right? It lets people get to know, trust, and like you right off the bat. It reminds people who you've already met how you made them feel. You know, that's a big thing that we talk about here on the Mastermind group, is that, you know, sales don't take place based on what you say. Your numbers, your rate doesn't equate to the sales. I think statistically, when it was broken down, only 14% of sales in the mortgage industry take place based on rate. That means that's 86% of the people buying are buying based on something else. And we know that it's based on the way that we make them feel, not what we say. And so video gives you an opportunity to remind those people how you made them feel. It makes you a real person to those you haven't met yet, and gives you an opportunity to create within them a celebrity status, so to speak, which is a feeling. And again, based on feelings, that's how you get to those next opportunities. That's how you grow from just being a prospect to being an actual client, is you continuously make them feel in a way that makes them want to do business with you. And that goes for clients as well as referral partners, because it's all sales. That's what we're doing, is selling ourselves. So does anybody really watch the videos? Well, YouTube would like to think so. There are 2 billion views per day on YouTube. I think one of the statistics that I didn't include here, it showed a statistic that there were 24 hours of video being watched every 5 minutes on YouTube across the world. I mean, it is a staggering number, the amount of people who are constantly on YouTube, the amount of videos that are being watched. Even in the real estate space, we know that 97% of people are searching for homes online before going out and looking at homes. That's their first step. 86% of those people are looking at video content. Those numbers come directly from National Association of Realtors and Google. They did a joint study in 2012. 86% of home buyers are looking for video online. So yes, absolutely people are watching. 80% of YouTube's traffic is U.S. based. That means especially Americans are watching, and for my Canadian friends, we're looking to boost that for you. So what kind of ideas, what kind of videos could you do as a lender? And this is, I think, this is probably the second biggest reason why most of us, why it's difficult, or why we think doing videos is difficult. I call this the second most important reason. So if you can have good ideas before the day begins, or when you start, that takes that reason out of the equation. Number one, obviously, when you're at a closing, ask for a client testimonial. Ask them if they mind if you record a little client testimonial. You don't ever get if you don't ask, but if you ask, you got a 50-50 shot, right? Not all of them are going to agree to it, and it probably relates back to the number one reason why we don't do video is because we're uncomfortable with the way we look or sound on video. Clients will feel that way as well, so you're not going to get all of them, but some of them will certainly do it. Home buying tips. What better way to brand you as an expert than to give tips on how to secure a VA loan as a veteran? What better way to brand you as an expert than to do a video about renovation loans and how they work and how you can improve your home as you move into it? You can do an entire video series on frequently asked questions. Some of you have heard me speak about this before, but that's one of those things that everybody sees it as a great idea, but implementing it, people get caught up in the well, I want to be prepared. Just record some frequently asked questions. Search engine optimize the videos the way that you know how, that we've discussed in here on YouTube, and get them found. You know, do a series of 6 or 7 videos on how to get a VA loan, the frequently asked questions all veterans have about buying a home. You know, first one, how do I qualify for zero money down? Well, here's how it works. And you break it down. Do a series on frequently asked questions and email it out to your entire database. That's a really great way to brand you as an expert on a specific subject. Community events. You guys know me. I love doing the, I mean, that's when I show you my sample here in a minute. That's the template that I'm going with in my sample is community events. That's always fun. And you know what? It's super easy to do. I mean, every one of you, you're on the computer. You guys know enough about computers to be able to log on to a webinar and listen to a webinar. Some of you can even multitask while you're on the webinar. You guys all know how to do a Google search for what's going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma today. You know how to do a Google search for what's happening in Cleveland or DC. I mean, for goodness sake, perfect ideas for you guys that live in Kansas City and Washington, DC, and areas where you've got baseball playoffs going on. I mean, that's almost as big as the start of the football season a couple of weeks back. I mean, that's big stuff. It's community events. Those are great things to do videos on, and it's an excuse for you to send a video every week. Hey, here's what's going on in our area this week. You can do how-to videos, little tips. Hey, here's how to make sure that you get better gas mileage in your car. Make sure you're checking your tire pressure every week. At the end of the week, you check your tire pressure and make sure that all 4 tires are at the right pressure. You'll save thousands over a year in gas. Little tips like that. Home tips are really great stuff, especially for you guys that live in the colder climates where, protecting your pipes against freezing and stuff like that is an issue right now. I mean, we've got our first big major cold front rolling across the country as we speak. It's a perfect time to go into tips about how to, get your home ready for the fall and winter. Hey, if you've got a lot of big trees in your yard, they're getting ready to fall on you. Here's a quick and easy tip for cleaning them up. Pay the neighborhood kid $10 to do it. And you laugh a little bit, right? Local business feature. We did an entire class not too long ago about business-to-business strategies where we talked about featuring local businesses. It's a great way to get yourself out to the community, but the coolest part about doing local business features is your local business is going to want to share his new commercial with his database as well. And you get to be in that commercial as the trusted friend in the mortgage industry of that particular business. Great excuse to get your message out. It's also a really great way to grow your list if your list is maybe not as big as some others, or you're new to the business, or you don't have a client database of 300 or 400 or 500 people to send it to, or a referral base of a couple hundred agents. Tap into some of the local businesses and tap into their databases as well. They're glad to have another business promoting them. Remember, the benefit to you, Mr. Business Owner, is I'm going to share it with my database, and some of them may patronize your store. The benefit to me is I may get some business out of it, and I have something of value to offer to my database. It's a win-win situation for everybody involved, and your businesses will be glad to do it. Important market updates. When things like the government decides to extend the zones on the current USDA regulations, that's a great thing to do a market update. Or when the rates go up, when there's a drastic change in the rates, or anything that has to do with the housing market, like when I guess it's not fresh now, but the HARP program. I've seen Quicken Loans recently. They are all over the television with HARP commercials. Little market updates are fantastic to do videos about. A cool thing you saw. You know, hey guys, I thought I'd share this with you. I happened to get an opportunity to go to the MacDill Air Force Base Air Show this year, and man, was it cool. Check out this little clip and maybe do a little, you know, cut in a little clip of a stealth bomber that flew overhead. And, you know, hope you guys enjoyed that too. And if you missed it, check it out again and you'll get to see what I saw. You know, cool things like that happen all the time. You know, mix that kind of stuff in. That's a great reason for a video. Seasonal greetings. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Just wanted to wish you and yours a happy Halloween. Be safe this year. You know, safety's on the top of all of our minds in the real estate industry. And with Halloween coming up, make sure you're thinking of your kids' safety as well with trick-or-treating. Make sure they've got flashlights and, you know, an adult goes with them, and check their candy before they eat it. You know, just little things. Seasonal greetings. Try to stay away from specific religious holidays. You don't want to alienate a specific portion of your crowd. If you are going to do specific religious holidays, do it for all of them. If you're going to do, you know, a Merry Christmas to everybody, do a Happy Hanukkah to everybody as well. You know, make sure that you're not alienating part of your crowd with religious holidays. And personal one-view videos are fantastic, especially for, I like those a whole lot for a brand new referral partner, for status updates, or specifically for clients that you've got in process for, you know, asking for referrals throughout the entire process. Hey, I just wanted to let you know the processor just submitted your loan to the underwriters. We should be getting information back within the next 48 hours. So that's what to expect from us. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. And oh, by the way, don't forget, don't keep me a secret. If you've got any friends or family that could use some good, honest help in their mortgage or buying a home, have them give me a call. I'm more than happy to help them. You know, you always have that opportunity. Those personal one-views are a great reason for that, and it's a really cool way to communicate your status updates that brands you, again, going back to the reason for video is branding you as somebody different, helping you stand out in a crowd. Now, the big question that a lot of us have, and I notice that a lot of people first getting started in video, and this will happen too for some people who have had some success in video, they think, oh, I've got an audience now, and they will start to go long on their videos. It is very important to keep your audience engaged, and your audience on YouTube has a very, very short attention span, to be honest with you. I think they said the average viewer will watch a video for about 50 seconds before they click off or scroll. So I like to keep my videos, I like to keep mine under a minute. My goal every time I do a video is under a minute. If I can get my message across under a minute, we're in good shape. For those of you that saw today's video for the invitation to today's class, that was 35 seconds. And I got the entire message out. I told you who I was. I told you what was happening today, so what the benefit was, and I told you what to do to take action on learning what the benefit that I gave you was, and got all that across in 35 seconds. Again, it's really important to make sure that you're trying to keep it short. You want to keep your audience engaged. So 45 seconds to a minute, minute and a half max. With your local business features, though, those can be up to about 3 minutes because, again, you're offering something cool. You've got two people speaking. Your audience will typically stay engaged a little bit more because there's more action or activity on the screen. And you want to give your local business feature an opportunity to talk about what it is that they offer. You want to give them a chance to talk about their benefit. All videos should tell the audience who you are, why they benefit from knowing you, and what they need to do to take advantage of that benefit. Every video must have every one of those components in it. Now, equipment. This is a big question. I probably get this question first when I'm talking to brand new one-on-one clients about, hey, let's get started on video. Ooh, well, what equipment am I going to need? You got a smartphone? Perfect. You've got all the equipment that you need. That's everything that you need equipment-wise if you have a smartphone in your pocket. Yes, even you folks who use the iPhone, that's even good enough to do videos. If you've got a laptop computer that's newer than 3 years old, you've got a webcam built right into it. You don't need any fancy equipment. You can even use, I've got a little GoPro. My wife got me a GoPro for Christmas, and that's a fantastic little video or camera for doing fun videos. But I'm going to recommend for anybody on this call that has not done video, that does not do video, and I see that there are a few of you here, start with your smartphone. Is there anybody, I'm not even going to ask because I know the group well enough to know. Everybody on this call has a smartphone, and it has a camera. That camera has a video recorder, and it is super easy to do. So start with using your smartphone. Now, if you are going to, or the question next is, what about editing? When I get the video done, I'm going to need to edit it. The reality is you do not need to edit anything to get started with videos. The video you saw today, no editing. It was I take that back. I mentioned, and I'll be transparent, I did 2 takes to get that video exactly right, and I'll tell you why. The first take, I was watching it back to make sure it was good, and I noticed that my wife had tilted the camera down just a tiny bit, and I'm wearing a pair of shorts, and the zipper happened to be open. And so I couldn't put the zipper down video on YouTube, and so we recorded the same video a second time, and it came out. Nothing edited, though. I didn't use a single bit of software. I shared it right to YouTube from my phone. If you do feel like you need some editing software, if you've bought if your computer is a Windows computer that has either Vista, Windows 7, or Windows 8 on it, you have Windows Live Movie Maker already built into your software. If you have a Mac computer, you have iMovie already built into your software, so you really don't need to buy anything. Now, if you want to get going with green screening and do some extra effects, you can go out and you can buy Adobe Premiere Elements. I believe they're on version 12 at this point. They're either on a version 11 or 12 at this point. But any Adobe Premiere Elements, the last time I used it, I was using Adobe Premiere Elements 9. It does the same thing. They just kind of improve the software, make it a little easier. Whatever number you have is fine. It will do green screen. iMovie will do green screen. Camtasia will do green screen. Windows Live Movie Maker will not do green screen effect. It does not have a chroma key to be able to do it. So if you're going to get into the fancy stuff, by all means, you're going to need some editing software then. At this point, getting started with video, to do video marketing basics, to get your message across and brand yourself as different and be seen as a celebrity to people, get that sense of celebrity status. No, you're not Oprah. You're not going to sell 1 million books by mentioning it, but you're going to create a feeling with people. You don't need any of that editing software. You don't need any of it. Just be prepared when you create your video. And to be prepared, what I'm talking about is developing a script. You can either write out a complete script and memorize it, or you can use bullet points. Either way, you're going to practice it. Before you get in front of the camera, practice it. Stand in front of the mirror and practice it. I will tell you personally, I'm a bullet points kind of guy. You guys have seen me do scripts on here. I typically will write out a script and then I use it as a bullet point anyway because I typically go off script. So I use bullet points and then I practice it. Have someone hold or tape it to a piece of cardboard. If you're going to hold a script or bullet points anywhere near the camera, do it above where the lens is. It's obvious when you're looking below the camera lens. It's not so obvious when you look above the camera lens. So I typically like to put it above the camera lens so that you can't tell that my eyes are shifting down or back up. If I'm looking straight up, if I'm looking at it, I'm going to look at that the whole time and not look at the camera lens, but it's above it so it looks as if I am. Okay? Practice it some more. Practice it some more after that, and then practice it again before you turn the camera on. Spend 10 minutes going through the same, like I said, it's 35 seconds, 45 seconds of speaking, so it doesn't take much time for you to practice it. Spend 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes practicing it before you put it on camera. Tweak the script to make sure that each time you practice it, you're delivering who you are, why the viewer benefits by knowing you, and what the viewer needs to do to take advantage of that benefit. Make sure that those elements are included when you go. So the script, like I said, I used the current events in my area script. Hey, this is Paul Baxter with Leader One Financial, here with your weekly What's Up. It's another great week here in the Tampa Bay area with lots going on. Pier 60 on Clearwater Beach has some cool kids rides and activities going on Saturday and Sunday, the 4th and 5th. And if you want to go get some beaching in. And then Friday the 3rd is Bring Your Dog to the Park Day at the Clearwater Threshers Stadium. If you haven't done this yet, you should. It's a ton of fun for the whole family and Fido. And then I have 2 different closings. If I'm sending this video to my referral partners and prospects, my call to action is a little bit different. Guys, interest rates are below 4%, at or below 4% right now. If you have a buyer who is on the fence, make sure to call them or have them call me right away before these rates go up. I always appreciate your referrals. For any questions you have, I'm Paul Baxter, your mortgage answers guy. Keep your eyes open for the next weekly What's Up. Obviously, I'd practice that 5 or 10 times before I said it so that I could cut it in one fell swoop. And then I would record the same video again, but with a different ending for my clients and prospects. For clients and prospects, hey, interest rates are at or below 4% right now. If you're thinking of buying or know someone who is, make sure to call me right away before these rates go up. I always appreciate your referrals. For any questions you have, I'm Paul Baxter, your mortgage answers guy. Keep your eyes open for the next weekly What's Up. So it's two different what I want you to do, 2 different ways that I'm telling, I've got 2 groups that I'm sending my video to. I've got referral partners and I've got clients, but I don't need to come up with 2 different videos for both of them, do I? That takes too much time. So I'm just going to record one for my referral partners, and then I'm going to record one for my clients and prospects. It's the same video, just a little bit different what I need them to do to take advantage of the benefit of knowing me. Right? One, I'm specifically telling them to call me, and one, I'm reaching out as a referral partner. Hey, if you have any buyers, man, have them give me a call. I'll be able to help you out with that. But that saves you time. Again, there's no technical difficulty. Notice that I didn't talk about recording 2 different endings and edit them out and edit one in. No. Why? Why? This is a 35-second video right here, 35 to 40-second video. Why take the next hour and a half to edit one closing out and put another closing in when I can record the same doggone video with the different closing in about 2 more minutes and be done with it? Right? Take the easy path. You know, if there's a fork in the road and one's going to take you 2.5 hours through a beautiful scenic route, but it's going to take you 2.5 hours to get to the restaurant you want to go to, or you could go straight and get to the restaurant in 2 minutes, I'm going to take the restaurant in 2 minutes if I'm hungry. Make sense, everybody? So the next step for you guys, here's the thing that I want everybody on this call to do. And I know some of you are going to be great at it because you're already doing it on a regular basis, and I know some of you have never done it or have dabbled in it but have never been consistent in it. So we're going to record our video. Now, if you're going to do this on your laptop computer with a webcam, do it directly into YouTube. With your smartphone, you're going to record it and then share it into YouTube. So I'm going to show you both ways here real quick on how to get that done. Now, either way, remember to put in the YouTube SEO steps that we masterminded about before. Remember, we want to have a good quality title that has our keyword phrase in it based on what we know about Hummingbird, and be semantic about answering the question that somebody is asking. We're going to put a nice description that has our keyword phrase in it a couple of times. We're going to give it some very specific tags in the description section that allows us, and we're going to geotag it through the advanced settings. We'll go through that another time, but just make sure you're following those steps with each one of the videos that you do. So for your webcam, you're going to go directly to youtube.com and you're going to log into your account. If you don't see your name up at the top, you're not logged in. If you see your name and your picture at the top, you're logged in. Once you're logged in, you're going to get this button that says Upload. That's always there at the very top on the right, no matter what screen you're on YouTube when you're logged in. If you're watching a video, no matter where you are, that Upload button is always there on the top right on YouTube when you're logged in. Click it. It's going to bring you into the Upload section. Now, we're not going to select files to upload. On the right, we're going to do a webcam capture. So when you click on webcam capture, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a frame that looks an awful like you're going to watch a video, except in the center it's going to be a black screen. Now I have already allowed, so I couldn't show this in the screen capture, but there's going to be a little box in the center that is asking your permission. YouTube is asking you to allow them to connect to your webcam. Click on the Allow button and then Next, and you'll see yourself right there in front of yourself. You'll literally pop up right on the screen in front of you. On the bottom of that screen is a Start Recording button. It's that simple. You click the button, you speak to the camera. When you're finished, when you've done your script, you click the Stop Recording button. You add a good title, a good description, some tags, and a geotag. As it's doing its processing, you'll notice it's telling you it's processing, but you're in a section where you'll see Add a Title. You type your title in. You give it a good description with your keyword phrase in it that matches your title. Add some tags and then geotag it, and you're all set. Now you're ready to share it. Now if you're doing it on a smartphone, the step-by-step is a little hard to do because each of us have a little bit different phone. I've got an HTC One. If you've got an HTC One, raise your hand. I can do a walkthrough step-by-step on that one. But each phone is a little bit different in terms of getting to your camera, opening it up, and switching from just regular photos to your video camera. If you have trouble with that, if that's something that is a little out of your technical range, let me know. We'll set up a time where we can talk and we'll walk through it. But once you've got the recording done, it's basically the same on all phones. From your gallery section, you're gonna see your recording in there. It looks different because it looks like a thumbnail with the play button in the middle of it. You touch it like you're gonna watch your recording. When you do that, the screen you're on, if you touch outside of it, not the play button or something, it's gonna pop open some different options. One will be like delete it. One will be share it. That's the one you're going for, is the share it. And here are some of the different icons to look for on your phone. I know my phone, it's these three little balls that are connected. It's like one person sharing it to two persons. That's what that's representing. That's what the icon looks like on my phone, and I believe Jeff told me that that's the same icon on an iPhone. It does look the same on an icon for your share option. Regardless, you're going to click the share option on your video, and that's going to give you several options to choose from. You're going to have like mail, Gmail, messages, Bluetooth. One of those options, even if you don't see it on the initial screen, you'll have a button that says More Options. And one of the options to share will say YouTube. Most phones these days, and I can't even remember, I mean, in the 4 years I've had a smartphone, I can't remember one that didn't come with YouTube already preloaded as an app on it. So it's probably preloaded. Now, if you've never used it from your phone, you may be prompted to log into your Google account. And it'll prompt you, and once you do that and click OK, you're right back to where you need to be. You're sharing your video on YouTube. Okay? It's that simple to do it from your smartphone. The video you guys saw today, that was exactly what I did. I recorded it with the phone. I shared it directly to YouTube. I downloaded it from YouTube and uploaded it to Facebook. Okay? And then in the email, I just used the YouTube link. That was the steps I took. It was, I mean, literally 10 minutes invested in the entire thing. Okay? When you upload to YouTube, it's going to go through a processing just like it did when you recorded directly into YouTube from your webcam. That gives you the opportunity, and it's right there on screen for you to do it, to add a title, to add a description. You can add some tags. Now, you can't geotag it from your phone, but you can log in and you can go back and you can go to the advanced options and geotag it from the login, but you can do everything else directly from your phone. The only thing I could not find was how to geotag it from my phone. And I don't know that it's not automatically geotagging from my phone based on, I'm uploading it and it sees my phone is pinging to a specific place, because when I went into it, it had it in Palm Harbor. It just wasn't on my exact location, but it did have it in Palm Harbor. It wasn't in the spot where I normally geotag things to, the business address. So, but it was in Palm Harbor, so I don't know that it's not geotagging it automatically for you. The next step, once you've got your video recorded, you've got your video uploaded and all optimized out on your YouTube channel, you need to share it. And share it means everywhere. Email it to your entire realtor database. Email it to your entire past customer and prospect database. Post it to your Facebook page and your Facebook profile. Do it to both. Why not? You're using both. Phones don't have a remote to start and stop recording. How do you get rid of the reach across while shooting a video with a phone? Quite frankly, with these kind of videos, the type of video that we're doing, I'm not offended by the reach across, quite frankly. And I've posted some videos with the reach across. I've actually done it for some of the, you guys have seen some of the videos that I've done for Tackle Grab, doing unboxings for a fishing manufacturing company. I did some of those videos with a reach across, and quite frankly, I've never had anybody say something to me about, oh, well, your videos would be much better if we didn't see you turning off the camera. I'm personally not offended by them. Now, if it's something that you want to avoid, you're talking about some more advanced type stuff, Jeff, we can certainly begin to talk about editing to get better and better and more professional and more professional. If that's the direction you want to go with your videos, by all means, you can start mixing in some of those things. On the getting started stuff, quite frankly, I'm not offended. It doesn't bother me to see that reach across the camera off, and I've actually done that in several of my videos and not thought twice about it. Yeah, absolutely. YouTube, one of the things that I mentioned when we were talking about the editing stuff was YouTube. So if you want to get into editing, I tried to make it a big point to let you guys know that you really don't need to worry about editing, but YouTube has a built-in editor directly into it. And I believe we will end up with enough time. I'll go live to my YouTube channel. I'll pop open today's video, and I'll edit a little bit of it to show you how it works. It's a little bit cumbersome, but once you get to know it a little bit, it's right there. It's free, and once you get to know it a little bit, it becomes easier and easier each time you do it. Okay? So we're talking about sharing your videos, email, post it on your Facebook page, post it on your profile as well. Post it to LinkedIn. A lot of people forget that they've got, well, I've got 500 connections. I post it on LinkedIn. You think those 500 connections, they may not see it today, may not see it tomorrow, but eventually they're going to go to LinkedIn and they may bump into your video. No, only one of them got uploaded to YouTube, Jeff. I did not upload both takes. Twitter. How many people on the call right now are using Twitter? Is there anybody on here that actually uses Twitter? Above and beyond what we talked about on this week's Mastermind, where you want to have your profile set up to get the SEO juice out of it to make sure that you've got a presence there. But how many of us actually use Twitter? I'm like you. Same thing, Jeff. I have an account, but that's about it. Not yet, no. I will tell you, in the short period of time that I did do a couple of active things, it did produce some conversation. The thing about Twitter that doesn't specifically work for me is that I like to do my social media based on, bits of time. I want to get on for a few minutes and then get off and come back and pick up where I was or see what's going on, do some quick engagement and get out. With Twitter, when you tweet something, it's fast and furious for a very short period of time, and you've got to stay on top of it to get the impact. Then you've got to have it up and going, just like Facebook. It's all about engagement, engaging with people that you're following and following cool people, and then them following you and engaging with you and engaging back with that. It's all about that ongoing conversation. And so with Twitter, you've got to be right there. It's like a constant, it's like all the time, all the time, all the time. And it was just too constant for me. I prefer Facebook when I can pop in there for, an hour or 20 minutes, do a lot of engagement, do my daily 10, engage with 10 people in some way, shape, or form, and then get out of there. Do my post, engage with who's engaged back with me, and then get out of there. I don't have to spend all day following up and constant engagement. You know what I mean? It's just easier for me. So that was why I don't focus so much. I do believe in it, and I know it's a huge thing. And if you've got that ability to focus effort on it, it can really be a benefit to you. Post it to a board on Pinterest. The thing about Pinterest is it's not my favorite place, but you know what? You post an image or a video, it seems to get shares and reposts and repins automatically without you having to do much to it. So it's one of those places that you can do something a couple, 3 times a week, not spend much time in it, and still get some pretty good impact, especially if you tie it into your Facebook account, because then it generates engagement in both ways. Oh, okay. Jeff, Bill just gave me a really cool little tip that I had no idea about, and this is pretty cool stuff, and it relates back to the conversation we were having regarding the reach over to turn the camera off. And I believe, Jeff, you're an iPhone user as well. Bill says if using an iPhone, the earbuds have a plus-minus feature for volume. So my earbuds on my Android, and I'm going to test this when we get off today because I don't know it for fact for Android, but I'm going to test this out. It has a volume button where I can turn it up or down. That feature doubles as a start-stop button when you're recording on the iPhone when you have that earbud plugged in. Very, very cool little gizmo or trick. That's a very cool little gizmo. That kind of saves it. Oh. So the dilemma there is don't use that trick, Bill. The dilemma there is it turned off the microphone. Because the headphones are plugged in, it turned off the microphone feature. Because it was looking for you to, like the headphones that most have where you can kind of talk and it's got like a little tiny mic in the headphone. That's what it was probably asking you to do. And if you're using it the way I'm thinking I would use it, it would be more of me holding it in my hand and pushing that button instead of having the earphones in my ears or anywhere near my mouth to hear a microphone part of it. And maybe it has to do with the earbuds as well. Well, I'll test it out on my end too and see what we can come up with there. All right, so what is stopping you guys from doing video? I know, like I said, I know a lot of you on this call are doing video, but there are several who are not. So what is stopping you guys? You know, there's our buddy. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And I think, you know, I mentioned earlier the number 2 thing that stops people from doing video is what kind of video? What's my content? What should I say in my video? The number 1 thing, the hands down number 1 thing that stops people from doing video is fear of how they're going to be perceived on the video. Fear of how people are going to see them. Fear of how people are going to see them. And I got to put it to you this way. And I'm not trying to be mean, please don't take this the wrong way. But let's say you're sitting, everybody's at their desk right now. You're all on a webinar with me. Everybody has their phone in their hand, yes or no? Everybody has their phone pretty close to them. Jeff has his phone next to him. Jim does. James does. Bill does. Looks like everybody on this call right now has their phone next to them. That's everybody, not just that, and that's people doing and not doing video. Pretty much everybody on this call has their phone next to them right now. What would happen if your phone, come 2 o'clock, we end this webinar, and 2 minutes later you're sitting there thinking, wow, you know, maybe I should do, the phone rings and it's a client. Hey, I got your number from so-and-so. I got your number from the internet. Who cares how they got your number? I'm interested in buying a house. It's going to cost me $270,000. I talked to the realtor. I really need to get going on the finance part of it. Are you able to help me with the finance part of a $270,000 home? You're going to ask a few questions, right? You're going to pre-qualify them. You're going to ask some questions, but is there anybody here that's not willing to help that person buy a $270,000 home? I'm going to take that silence as no. Everybody here is pretty willing. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Absolutely, we're all willing to help them, right? Great. Well, listen, here's the end of the conversation. I want to do this, but I'm only going to give you all my personal information. I want to fill out an app. I want to do that sitting next to you. I want to shake the man. I feel more comfortable if we get together and I do the application with you face-to-face. I just feel more comfortable that way. Is anybody going to say no to that? Is there anybody here that is not going to go to a face-to-face meeting for a $270,000 loan? Yep. Nobody said yes on that either. Exactly. What time can you be here? That's the first question I'd ask too, James. That's exactly the question I'd ask too, as a matter of fact. What time can you be here? What time do you want to meet me there? Everybody on this call agrees that you would go to that face-to-face meeting for a $270,000 loan, right? Well, guess what? I hate to burst your bubble, but you look exactly the same way in a video as you do face-to-face. Every one of you. You look exactly the same way in a video and on film as you do face-to-face. You sound exactly the same way in a recording as you do face-to-face. You are who you are. You look like what you look like. We are not all Fred Astaire. Wow, where did I come up with Fred Astaire? That's an old, I could have done Brad Pitt or somebody new, and I went with Fred Astaire on that one. But the reality is we look like what we look like. We're not movie stars, right? There's no reason for you to be afraid of being in front of a camera when we look like what we look like. You wouldn't be afraid for an instant to go meet that guy based on, that called you on the phone to sit face-to-face with you. You wouldn't hesitate for a minute to go sit with a realtor partner who's doing 50 loans every year. They're doing 50 transactions a year, and they want to meet with you face-to-face and get to know you a little bit better. You'd meet with them, right? Shoot, I'd do that for the guy doing 10 transactions a year. Not for the guy doing 6, I'm just saying. That's not worth my business time. So honestly, I don't think I'd go to that meeting if he's only doing 6 transactions a year. It's not worth my business time. He's not doing enough business. He's average. I'm meeting non-average people. I'm meeting above average people. But if you go to that face-to-face, then you've got to take the leap and know that you can do video. There's no fear in doing video. That mindset will get you over the hump of being able to do single-cut video recordings. The mindset of you're just looking at, you're having an interview. The same thing you would say if we were face-to-face is what you would say to what you're saying to the video. You're having a conversation with another person. It's a mindset that you have to get into, that you look like what you look like, whether you're face-to-face or on camera. You sound like what you sound like. And it will make your recordings come out much easier and much smoother. Because you're not nervous. You're not feeling apprehension. You're not feeling fear at that point. So it becomes much easier to record these videos. Does anybody need any proof that videos work? This is a person, you guys all know, some of you may know her, some of you do not. She's one of our contributing faculty. She is a loan provider in the beautiful state of Hawaii. As a matter of fact, she was voted by consumers as Hawaii's best mortgage lender. She does video every single week. She does personal one-view videos for every single communication to every single past client, current client, every single realtor partner, every single status update. She does video, a lot of it. She will go over disclosures. What she'll do is she'll pop open a screen that has her webcam up in it, so her face is right there on the screen, and then she'll surround the rest of the screen and record where she's clicking her mouse and showing, you know, hey, and this is what your interest rate's going to be, and this is where your down payment is, this is what your PPI is going to be, and, you know, all that good stuff. You know, she breaks down the disclosure with her face right there on it, records the whole thing, and that's what she sends to her buyers. It's amazing. She does a lot of video. Jody Tonga. Again, you'll find her on our in the About Us section. She is one of our contributing faculty. She does video a lot. So she posted one of her weekly videos talking about the Mortgage Credit Certificate Program. Is everybody on the call familiar with the Mortgage Credit Certificate Program? Okay, James, definitely get in touch with your local mortgage lender board and find out about it. There's an application process, but it's a really cool thing. Mortgage Credit Certificate Program. It basically gives a couple, $300-400 off of closing costs to the buyers, and it's a really great way to do takeaway closes with buyers who may be working with another lender. Really cool stuff. Definitely check into it. We'll talk more about that on Monday. So she did a video about that. This was a comment within within 20 minutes of when it was posted. Awesome job. I need to see you when we find a house to buy. So this is a woman that responded to the video that says, I need to see you when we find a house to buy. So what did Jody do? Sent her a private message. That's awesome. You're in the market to buy a home. What kind of homes are you looking at? What price range are you looking in? Whatever the lady said back. Great. We offer a pre-approval that gets buyers, potential buyers, to know what their buying power is. This is going to help you save money over the long term and help you buy much more house than you normally would by doing it, finding the home first and then trying to get approved for that amount. Would you like to get pre-approved so you know what your buying power is? Yes. Okay. So that's the proof in the pudding. That is my presentation for today. Now, as promised, we got a couple of minutes here, and Jeff had asked a couple of questions about YouTube and the video editor that's within YouTube. So to get there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and click my name, and I'm going to go to the Creator Studio. And in the Creator Studio, I'm going to go to the Video Manager. Then I'm going to go to the Edit. Well, is that not how you get to the Edit? Nope, wait. Wait, I went the wrong place. Go to upload, and then just go to video editor from upload, and that will allow me to drag my clips in. So here's today's video. So I'm going to drag my video into here, and that puts it into a timeline for me. Right? So now I've got it in a timeline. So I've got quick fixes. I can auto fix. I can change the brightness. I can pan in, zoom out, stabilize the video contrast. I can go slow motion on certain parts. I can do those kind of things. Where did my skizzers go? There they go. So when I clicked on the video part here, notice that I've got a timeline moving across with the little scissors in it, and I can move this down to any part of the video, and it correlates with what's on the screen. Right? So I move down here, and it correlates with what's on the screen. To split it, you just drop it to where you want and let go, and it splits it up. I'm going to undo that. That's not my undo button. I hit the wrong undo button, and it took me all the way out. So I'm going to come back into my video editor. Now, from my video editor, I can go into the specifics that my project. Here are my different projects that I've done. So if I want to get rid of a specific piece, I'm going to click this one. So I've got that's the one I'm working in. So I've cut off that last 2 seconds there. So I want to check and see if that's what I want, but if I don't, I simply delete that piece, and I've removed that chunk. Like I said, it's a little bit cumbersome to play with and work with, and it takes a minute to get used to playing with it. But I did an entire video edited completely with this editor, and it took, I played with it for quite a while. It took me a couple of minutes to play with that. How do you It's changed a little bit since I looked at it, and I am not seeing an undo now. So at this point, I mean, that kind of, if you've made a mistake of like that and need to undo, there is no undo. So be careful when you're using this editor. There is no undo. Yeah, see, it's already edited that out there. Even though I didn't save anything, it auto-saved. So be careful with that, because once you do, it is done. There is no undo. So to do it over, I would need to go in and go New Project. Drop in the original again and start from scratch. Bring that out to the end where I wanted to cut it off. Make sure it's the proper spot that I wanted to cut off. So I would drag that out to the very end where I want to cut it off. Make sure that's where I want to cut it off. Click the snipper. There's the second I cut off, and delete that. So I want to add some music or edit in some things. Like I said, it's a little cumbersome, but you can see you've got complete control of the timeline here, and it gives me my second count. I can zoom in and zoom out just like you can, with other softwares. Up here are your options. I've got, there's my video. If I want captioning to add some, some cool stuff to it, I can add that. If I want to add text, I can add a banner, a centered title, a centered fade, a slide, something like that. If I want to add text, if I want to add a transition where let's say I've cut it right here and I want to add a place where it transitions, I can drag a circle down to it, and now I'll have like this little 2-second transition. You see that? It kind of blopped in. So you got transitions. You can add audio, and it comes with a bunch of different audio that you can choose from built into YouTube here. So you can even choose, like, if I want to go, let's say I want to go reggae music in the background. And then you can kind of play and listen to what it would sound like with that music. If you want it, you just drag it in, and now that would play in the background over my music or over my video selection. So it's got all the bells and whistles that you want. Like I said, it's a little bit funky playing with it, and there is no undo. Once you've done, like, I can take the circle out if I want to get rid of that, but now that I've cut that, I can't put that back together. Right? I can't put those two back together. So once you've made a clip or a cut, you're good. Be sure. But like I said, getting started with video marketing, there's no reason. You don't need any of that stuff. Guys, girls, that is it for today. Hope you learned a little something. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for investing your time with me today. Hope I was able to meet that investment with a return that brought you more than the time you invested. So thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you hanging with me. We'll see you right back here, same time, same channel next week. Have a great day, everybody. See you on the flip side.